I'm Deaconess Jessie Mae Willis Adams, 82 years of age as the 16th of February. I was married to Deacon Maurice Adams Sr. I was in high school, and all the girls had a boyfriend that was in the service, and I didn't have one. My aunt was going with his uncle, and they had introduced us, and as soon as he met me, he wanted to kiss me. He was fresh. I didn't want no fresh fella out of Georgia, shirt tail hanging out, white shirt and blue jeans on. So all my friends had boyfriends in the service, and I didn't. And I said, well, let me start writing him. And I did. When he came home, he had on his little uniform, and he was sharp. I said, oh, okay, I think I could like him. But he always liked me, and I didn't like him. Isn't it funny? And then we ended up writing each other and sending him little cupcakes and sending him fruitcakes when he went overseas. He went to Paris. And when he came home, he had another girl that he was interested in. But fly me, I got the best go. Knowing who I was always Miss whoever. Thought I was anyway. And we hooked up together and we got married, 1947. Because I was 19. Not quite. My birthday's in February, so I was 19. Does that figure up? He was 21 and I was 19. Yeah. Good husband. Worked hard. We were poor, but we didn't realize we were dirt poor. We lived in the projects. In fact, we lived in the trailer camp. That was really rough. We had to come home on the weekends because we were scared to stay out there in Green Valley. But we got a project. We moved into projects. At brick house. And like my children said, they didn't realize we were that poor because we lived in a brick house. We thought poor people lived in frame houses, but poor people lived in brick houses back in the day. And then eventually, they had such rigid rules in the projects about why I was working, couldn't have a one salary. And it was integrated. It was doing integration. And I wanted to go to work because my children didn't have what other children had. And he was making a decent salary, but it wasn't enough money. So that was one of our biggest arguments, me going to work. But we had a good marriage. We had our ups and downs like everybody else, but with the 5 children, we did very well with them. I lost a baby at 22 months old. He had congestive heart failure. We thought it was just asthma, with the coughing and the wheezing, and kind of found out it was his heart. They formed an autopsy. Over in Virginia, you have to have an autopsy if somebody died and go to the emergency room. So they did find out that he had a congestive heart failure. And that was hurting because we were about ready to divorce over that because it was traumatic to lose a child. And he was hurt, and so was I. But I had 4 more children, so we did the best we could with the rest of them. Had 3 children after Michael died. His name was Michael. And finally, after 5 years, I got pregnant again, and we had Thomas. Had another boy, and that was happy days of our time to have the 2 girls and the 2 boys. But we had a good life. As I said, we were poor, but we always had something to eat. And I could sew and crochet, and so I could make things for the girls and go down to Murphy's and pay us 79 cents for Gouda a shirt and go to the Goodwill and get them a pair of pants. And we always had. And as I said, we were poor, but we didn't live like poor people. And that wasn't my goal for us to be poor all our lives. And I kept saying one day we're going to be rich. But then I didn't realize back then we were rich then. But you didn't accept it like you would now that you have a little bit more. And we moved out of the projects into a house paying $71 a month rent. That was expensive back in the day, paying $71 a month rent. But we made it. I could go to work then. And he finally came around to me working. But I like to buy stuff, so I bought this, that, and the other. And I'd buy him something always. I always bought him something. Valentine's Day, he got the Valentine's shirt and all of that little stuff. He would make fun of it, but he would wear it. He used it anyway. But as I said, we had a good life. The times when we were married, the 58 years that we were married. And when he passed, I was still devastated, and I still cry. I miss him. But he left me in pretty good shape. You have to understand each other. You love each other and trust each other, but you have to talk. Whether it's good talk or bad talk, you have to communicate. And in order to communicate, you just have to continue to listen. You have to listen too. his ideas and your ideas. They don't always come together, but one idea is always better than the other. So you have to communicate. You have to talk. You can't walk around pouty all day long and slamming dishes and throwing plates up against the wall. I've been through that, so I know that you have to talk. Communicate with each other and listen at what she's saying or what he's saying, and pray about it. Pray together. Prayer is the key to the foundation of heaven. And you have to pray together. And if you're not in the same church or you're not in the same faith, whatever her faith is, respect her, your wife, and respect your husband for the things that he's doing. Maybe Maurice didn't always do what I wanted him to do, and I'd get mad and pout. But then what good did it do? What do I need pouting? Then I learned to just smile at him because he was going to do what he wanted to do. And when I made up my mind something I wanted to do, I was going to do it anyway, being a strong black woman, and he's supposed to be a strong black. I made him a strong black man. He was strong, but you have to encourage each other and support each other, whatever they're doing. And you do have those little tongue and teeth fall out now, and you bite your tongue sometime. But you have to just, put a little sugar on it, a little salt on it, and keep right on going.
The Combo, your home for conversations on Black entrepreneurship and wealth, available on your favorite platforms.